Welcome to the spring elections for State Council. I am Maria Monica, your elections chair, and with me is your elections committee, Amy Fallon and Mario Zaravia, and our current CVE president, Susan Scala. Our agenda for this forum will begin with introductions of the candidates, followed by our rules, questions, then closing statements. Our rules are very simple. Each candidate will be given 2-minute introductions. After introductions, we will have questions and answers, then followed by 2-minute closing statements. The questions have been collectively selected by the elections committee. The candidates' order have been randomly selected. Each candidate will be given 2 uninterrupted minutes to give a response. Do any of our candidates have any questions regarding our rules? Thank you. We will start with introductions. Your first candidate for State Council is Vanessa Braito. Vanessa, please introduce yourself.
Okay, hi. Well, I'm Vanessa Braito, and I've been teaching in the district for 23 years. I've taught gen ed and special ed. I'm currently an RSP teacher at Cook. I was born and raised on the west side of Chula Vista, and I went to school here, as did both of my grown children. I come from a family of educators and activists. My father was a teacher in our district for 37 years, and he was around at a time before collective bargaining, so he was actually instrumental in forming the first teachers union in Chula Vista. My mom was a professor at Southwestern, and she was also a local journalist toward the end of her life, and was known for exposing corruption in local school districts, among other things. So I'd like to say that education and activism is in my blood. My experience in our union is that I've been a site rep for many years. I sat on the bargaining team for several years also, and I'm currently the grievance chairperson. So at this time, I'm hoping to become the state council rep so I can expand CVE's voice up to the state level. That's all I have.
Thank you, Vanessa. Your next candidate is Monica Murillo. Monica, please introduce yourself. You're muted. There you go.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Monica Murillo. Thank you very much for having me this morning. When I was reflecting and thinking about my introduction, I couldn't help but just to think about where life puts us in different stages of our life. And for me, it happened to be that education is my third career. I used to be in the private sector as a telecommunications project manager, and it was a wonderful and ample opportunities for success. Got married and had 2 beautiful boys. At that point, I changed paths and I became a stay-at-home mom for 7 years. And that was definitely an adventure. During that time, as I saw my boys growing up, I pursued a teacher's credential, and I started teaching actually at Cook, Vanessa. And ever since, I fell in love with education. I have been teaching at the district for 14 years, and I am one of those teachers or people that love change. And I have been in those 14 years, I have been in 5 different schools. I have been at Cook, at Vista Square, Silverwind, Harborside, and currently at Veterans. And I just truly enjoy learning from all the teachers, from practices. And that's probably why I'm here today, because I love to continue the journey of learning. I am your state council alternate, and I have been exposed to state council, and I would like to be part of your state council representative to support our teachers and to share my experiences and bring just different policies to our current district. And that is why I'm running for your CTA State Council. Thank you.
Thank you, Monica. Our questions will be read by your elections committee, Mario Zaravia and Amy Fallon.
Okay, so the first question is for Vanessa. How do you plan to represent CVE at the state level?
Okay, well, just by nature, being a representative means that it's really important to listen to our members' voices. Being a delegate is someone who's elected to go to a conference and represent. So it will be on me to listen to our members and to actively seek input as much as possible. I'm really a big believer in the more that a membership is involved and informed, the more engaged they are. Part of my job will be to educate myself about current issues that are happening at the state level so that I can get that information out to members and seek their input and create and will create surveys. We can use constant contact, emails, or for me, I really like to utilize Rep Council, which I think is where we have a lot of connection with our members. So I'd be asking for speaking time at Rep Council so I can gather information, gather input, and also put information out there. I think there will be times at State Council where I will have to vote on something before having time to go back to the membership. So that's why that constant communication back and forth with the membership to kind of take the pulse of our members is important. And the times that I do have time to come back and gather input before voting, I will definitely be reaching out via a survey through Rep Council, whatever it takes that I hear the input and the voices of all of our members. And that concludes my answer.
Thank you. So same question for candidate Monica. How do you plan to represent CVE at the state level?
Thank you, Mario. First, I would like to share, we have few members that might not be familiar with what State Council is. And just to give a little bit of information, State Council is makes policy, makes a top policy, is a top policy body, excuse me. We meet 4 times a year. It develops legislation and recommendations. And currently there are just 8 areas that State Council focuses. And within those 8 areas, that is where Chula Vista educators will come and really take those areas and focus on decision making. Committees and best practices. The areas that I'm talking about, it's building and organizing culture, leadership and leadership development, community engagement and coalition building, transforming our profession, social justice, equity and diversity, structure and governance, advocacy on education, reform, and organizing unrepresented education workers. So my role, if I am elected as your state council, is that I will be attending the 4 meetings a year. And in those meetings, I will participate in the committees and just, which I'm assigned to, and share any local concerns and practices and bring those back and inform our members. And I will inform them, of course, through site Rep Council Executive Board, and just take the next steps with that information. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right. So we'll move on to our next question. And this next question, it will be for candidate Monica. How are you going to keep members informed about issues from the state level?
Thank you, Amy. As I previously stated, State Council is a decision-making body at the state level, and it's extremely important that that all of our local members from CVE, they know the local, county, and state issues that are affecting our profession, especially now in this unprecedented time of pandemic. So I feel that I have 4 ways that I would like to address or share information with our members. And again, that would be in our site council meetings, at executive boards, and communication, as we currently receive via newsletters, which are emailed. But I think I would like to add, since we all learned from this pandemic, just the beauty of videos. I think I would like to add a short video of what we're trying to share with our members. That way, it's not only read, but it's another form that that is easily accessed by all of our union members. My goal is to ensure that everyone is informed and they have an opportunity to voice their opinions or concerns.
Great. All right. Thank you, Monica. All right. Same question to candidate Vanessa. How are you going to keep members informed about issues from the state level?
Well, Monica had some great ideas that I also have too, but it's that regular communication. We have to, it's a give and take. I've got to listen and I've got to inform. The CVE newsletter was something I was thinking of too. We could work with the other state council reps to create a page there, which we could keep members updated on with current events, current issues, opportunities. Definitely email, always we can use the constant contact. And one of our responsibilities is to submit a written report, of course, to executive board and rep council. But I do, for it would be important at particular times of the year to request that speaking time at rep council so that we can really have that dialogue and reps can voice questions or concerns, bring any information or issues that they have at the site. And funny, Monica's video idea is super innovative. My idea is old fashioned. I like paper. Something that I've noticed is people don't always open emails. So definitely when we go back to in person, when things are back to normal, I'd like to utilize the resources at the union office and create, funny to say, old-fashioned flyers that will be sent out to school sites, put up on bulletin boards, little pieces of information that can be left out on the table in the lounge, stuffed into your mailbox like the old days. I think the more people we reach, the more members we reach, the better. So it's all about just that regular, constant communication. Thank
Great.
you.
Great. Thank you, Vanessa.
Okay, this next question is for Vanessa. What are your plans to engage members to actively participate in statewide issues that affect public education?
Okay, well, I believe that if I've done my job well, and for keeping members informed and educated, will build that engagement. The more people know, the more they want to know, the more they want to get involved. So that's definitely something that's part of what I would try to do. Also, I'd like to CTA. There's several caucuses that are available to join for any member, and these caucuses range. There's an African American caucus, there's LGBTQ, there's a special education caucus, and those are just like committees on a bigger level, kind of. So I would really like to encourage our members to join those and bring some information that we have. You know, for example, I could connect with the Social Justice Committee and reach out to members there that might want to be part of the state level caucuses. Also, I want to keep my eye out for CTA offers a lot of different awards for individuals or organizations. There are grants available, which we see some of, but you know, I could do a little more research, excuse me, and see if I could find more. And also, sorry, dog. Professional development opportunities are abundant too. So I'm sorry about the dog thing. That's just part of what happens. So really just keeping members informed, keeping that communication regular, and encouraging more activity by our rank and file members at the state level.
Thank you. Okay, same question for Monica. What are your plans to engage members to actively participate in statewide issues that affect public education?
Thank you, Mario. So the first thing that I have is, and I thought about, is letting our members know what exactly the opportunities that we have at State Council, and what is it that State Council does for our local chapter. My goal is to make information just really easily accessible, so they have an opportunity to provide feedback. So my thinking was to really analyze the calendar that CTA's State Council offers, and send it out in some sort of a way to our members prior to State Council, to let them know of issues and concerns that are going to be addressed, and then come back after that meeting and provide information. I think that will just make or have our members just be more aware. I agree with Vanessa with the involvement that we just don't know. And I am one of those people that not until I was able to be or have the opportunity to be the alternate that I really knew of all the opportunities that are there for even non-State Council members, for being a CTA member. So pursuing that involvement is also very important for all of our members. So my biggest, my answer to your question would be creating that before, looking at the calendar, creating that before list of items, action items possibly, and then coming back to the members. And of course, doing the same with and sharing the same information with our executive board, because we get so busy with so many things going on that we want to make sure that we keep State Council as a priority as well.
Thank you.
All right, so we have one last question for each candidate. We'll start with candidate Monica. Why do you think you are the best person for this position?
Thank you, Amy. That's always a hard question to answer without sounding weird. I think I am the best candidate for this position because I like change. I like involvement. I like to bring to keep union members informed. I like to be part of policy change, and I am very. I have been an advocate for our students and for our teachers for a while. And I feel that being at the State Council, I will be given the opportunity to bring all of that, all of the ideas and my passions in one, where I can actually support and extend the knowledge of State Council at our Chula Vista union level.
Great, thank you, Monica. All right, and candidate Vanessa, why do you think you are the best person for this position?
Well, I agree with Monica. I'm not a self-promoter, but I think one of my biggest strengths is that I'm a good listener, and I really do believe in listening to all members' voices. Something I've learned through my experience in the years that work with the union is that teachers don't always share the same opinions. They don't all think the same. So it's really important to recognize that teachers don't have the same political views, religious views. They don't even have the same views on how education should be run. So I think it's really important for me to be someone who listens to what people want at the state level. Also, I agree with Monica, bringing the information back and informing and educating our members on the issues that are at the state level is really important. I guess also just I'm a real public education advocate, and that's what State Council is all about. How are the policies made? What legislation is coming down the pipe? And we need to be a part of that and having Chula Vista's voice represented at that level.
Great, thank you very much, Vanessa.
All right, now that we've answered all the questions, we're going to begin with your closing statements. We'll begin with Vanessa. Please provide us with your 2-minute closing statement.
Okay, I'm not sure if it'll be 2 minutes, but I already said one thing that I was going to say in my closing. I am a good listener. I've learned to listen. I've listened as a site rep. I've listened as a grievance chairperson. I've listened on bargaining, and now I want to listen to all of CBE and bring their voice to that next level at the state level. I'll also be a good listener when I'm at state council so that I can make sure I'm capturing the most important issues at hand and bringing those back to inform our members. I'm someone who's open to questions and suggestions and feedback. In fact, I need that. I can't ever go and cast a vote based on what I think. I have to know what the majority of CVE thinks. So it's just will be my mission, if I'm elected, to continue that constant regular communication so that our members are informed and engaged and heard. Thank you.
Thanks, Vanessa. Monica, please provide us with your 2-minute closing statement.
Just a second, I'm having timer issues. I apologize.
No
Okay.
problem.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Monica.
Thank you. Actually, as Vanessa was sharing her closing statement, I was thinking of the 3 L's, and this is what Vanessa just mentioned, which is the listening, the learning, and at any point, it's the leading part of the 3 L's. And it is very important as a state council representative to listen, yes, to all of our members, to bring their concerns and their issues to the table. I feel that that again, and I am just taking what Vanessa said, the communication, and that has to do with any relationship that we are in. It's a relationship with our state and with our local union that we need to make sure that we bridge and we forward the information to the appropriate channels. Our members, we are so, and I am included, so overwhelmed with this last year. It has been a very difficult year for everybody. And one more thing to add or read or email is just so difficult. And I think that a simple format of communication will help us really understand what is happening at the state level, because we need to know that. We need to follow. We need to have our union based decision making on that. So why I want to run, it's because I am I'm a good listener. I am a great problem solver, and I have had the experience in both sectors where we can go ahead and have all members just benefit from the resources that we have.
Thank you, Monica. So this concludes our forum for State Council. Thank you, Vanessa and Monica, for answering our questions today.
Thank you. Have a nice day, everybody.
Thank you.
For having us.
Thank you.
Thank you. So for those who are the attendees, I'm sorry. I guess the next link will begin at 10 o'clock.